Hello.
Howdy.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
So, we are continuing on discussing sexless marriage. And in this one, we are going to talk about some of the common reasons. And these are common reasons agreed on by most experts.
Yes, and from both perspectives.
From both perspectives. Yeah.
So, do you want to cover some of the ladies' reasons?
Gosh, one of the top ones. Hormonal.
Hormonal.
Or physical. So I will say, I say physical as well because, pregnancy and childbirth, that can kind of cross that line. But
yeah, it's, the biggest complaint I'm seeing with pregnancy is the wild mood swings and the way they're behaving with their partners.
Right.
And I always tell the men, give them a lot of grace because their body is, all, and their hormones are all over the place.
Right. And I'm sure a lot of the guys see that as well because hormones during pregnancy can make a woman really interested. Times.
I knew better than to use the word crazy, so I won't. And then the other issue I see sometimes is the ones who don't get it, complaining about lack of sex post-baby.
Oh, goodness.
And, now some of them are far enough past it, but
that's fair.
They don't understand exhaustion, being touched out, and a lot of other things. And you cannot expect your sex life to go back to pre-baby
right away, even at 6 weeks.
Oh, I was thinking more like 6 to 12 months. You got to.
A lot of people think that 6 weeks minimum is like, okay, her body's going to be back to normal. There's no way.
No.
It takes a really long time.
And, guys, she's in mother mode. She's in mom mode. So, this is something the less initiated men don't get, is she's no longer your wife who is sexy. She's now a mom, and all of these hormonal and other instinctual things, which are good and appropriate, it's the last thing. It's why we talk about leaving the romance department and intimacy, not sex, and doing a lot of things to build up to it because that includes babysitters.
Right.
So we talked about hormones and pregnancy.
Perimenopause and menopause can be another one.
Oh,
that can make sex difficult or even painful.
Right, and here's the thing with those two things. It is different for every single woman. So,
absolutely.
Guys, I'd love to give you a formula. No such thing.
I happen to have a friend who's in perimenopause who is one of the, I want to say it's under 10%, who wants it all the time.
I know somebody whose wife went through a phase of that. It was like, and eventually, he kind of felt like, okay, now I understand what women feel like when the men just want sex, but, and again, it's not a knock. And with men, because again, we had a lot of women coming, I'm in this sexless situation, what about me? So, erectile dysfunction, a lot of times, for the guys, it's as much up here as anything. However, if they look like they're in their third trimester and they are not exercising, and they can also, this impacts blood flow, this impacts their ability to perform, and something that most women don't realize, just like women go through menopause, men go through menopause, there's a variety of hormones, and obviously testosterone being the biggest one, which drops as we age, which just can destroy a man's drive. And that's in good relationships. And again, when we partner that with the inability to talk about sex.
I cannot tell you the number of people.
Or refusing to talk about sex.
Refuse to talk about it or can't talk about it.
Because of their upbringing, the church, their family.
I had someone who came to me at one point who wanted to work on sexual issues but refused to talk about it. And I'm like, we can't work on this if you can't talk about it.
And if you're a 40-something grown-ass man or woman and you can't talk about sex, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
Now, what percentage of people can't talk about sex in your opinion?
I mean, to varying degrees, 100%.
Yeah. I'd say our conversations are the exception.
I would say probably so.
Yeah. So, a couple of other things that can cause, we talked about your upbringing, cultural, religious
or cultural differences.
Then there's a whole, if there's trauma, that's a whole separate probably video. If you're always fighting, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Why would I want to be intimate with somebody who is being a raging bitch?
Fair. Or a total asshole.
Well, I was going to say, if I'm being a complete and total asshole who is insensitive and not helping you with anything and we're fighting, why would you want to have sex with me?
Exactly.
So this is not, and it's why I chose my words, because I knew you would.
It does go both ways. I mean, what you're putting into the relationship is going to come back to you in some way.
And men, never put into it to get something.
Right.
Give from a loving and abundant heart because it's the woman you love, and don't expect anything, because one, they have a radar when you're doing that covert contract stuff, and they know it. It kind of feels slimy, doesn't it?
And ladies, you need to listen to that too.
Yeah. Now, the one last thing I think we should cover is, I cooked dinner tonight, and you know what I put on the salmon?
I don't remember.
I put spices.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I thought you were asking like specific
No.
ones.
A variety of spices. Because men will be okay with same old,
Right.
unfortunately or sadly. However, women are not wired that way. They need variety.
Variety is one of the top predictors of a satisfying sex life for women.
Yeah. And I mean, literally, you could have a variety, and I even track what we did the last time or two so I don't repeat too many times in a row.
Yeah.
Because even if you know this is something that she really enjoys, if you do it too much, she might get tired of it.
It gets boring.
Yeah. And
It
two,
just does.
sometimes for both of you, it's just not there.
Yeah.
And so that's okay. That's not indicative of a problem. That's an indicative of maybe you got something in your mind that you're not even thinking about, but is causing a block. Same thing for guys.
So there's one other thing that I do want to make sure we mention.
Okay.
I don't want to leave out the fact that sometimes mental health can have a massive effect on a sex life or sex drive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you're not taking antidepressants, for example, SSRIs will.
But they will
kill
destroy a sex life.
a sex life,
male or
but
female.
sometimes even if you're not taking those, the serotonin is not right. You know, depression is heavy. Those kinds of things can have a big effect as well.
I'm going to cross into an area I'm sure somebody will get offended, but you know what's as effective as SSRIs?
Are you going to say sex?
No, exercise.
Oh, well, that's true. But sex does have an effect
Yes.
on an antidepressant effect.
Yes, it does.
Just got to put that out there, too.
I had a joke that would have been totally caused this video to get taken down.
Save
by
it for
YouTube.
later.
I will. So, taking care of yourself, exercising, reducing body fat. I'm never going to tell someone to go against their doctor's SSRIs, but I've worked with a lot of men who've been reducing them with the goal to get off of them because they realize this is screwing up my whole desire and everything else.
I have worked with a few people who've worked to get off of them because it was messing with their sex life. Yeah.
All right. I think we've covered enough in this one.
I think we've covered quite a bit.
All right. We've covered the reasons. We'll see you in the next video.